This film is critical in showcasing the practices of gender-responsive pedagogy, and more so in creating an environment that is supportive of both boys and girls' education.
What is gender-responsive pedagogy? What makes a school gender-responsive? What do teachers who are gender-responsive do differently? What difference does gender-responsive pedagogy make for girls, for boys, for the whole school? These are some of the questions that this video will try to answer. You will meet teachers and head teachers in West Turkana County who have participated in training in gender-responsive pedagogy and are implementing what they learned in their classrooms and schools now. Throughout the film, they will share their experiences and try to show you what they do differently to ensure that all the learners in their classes, both girls and boys, are included in everything they do. As you watch and listen, try to see how many different gender-responsive strategies you can identify. At the end of each section of the video, you will be asked to identify some of the gender-responsive ideas and actions these educators mention. Don't worry if you don't get them all. A list will be available for you to check how many you noted.
My name is Joyce Kemaita. I am an educationist and specifically a trainer. I train teachers and mainly I train on gender and education. Gender responsive pedagogy, which is referred to as GRP. Let's first of all talk about pedagogy. Pedagogy refers to the art of teaching, especially the approaches and methodologies of teaching children and young learners. GRP, we talk about GRP in a school. In a GRP school, the school takes into account anything that happens in the school and even in the classroom, takes into account the learning needs of boys and girls so that both can be taken care of in terms of participation, in terms of the differences in how they learn. In a gender-responsive class, the teacher ensures that both boys and girls are given the same opportunities to exploit their abilities to their potential, to the best. Yeah, that is gender-responsive pedagogy.
My name is Darius Mogaka Ogutu. I'm a Director of Education in charge of policy, partnerships, and East African Community Affairs. The Ministry of Education views gender issues as pertinent in the delivery of quality education. And in the year 2007, we published a gender policy in the education sector. And we made an effort over the years to ensure that all children have a right to education, both boys and girls, and the pedagogies in the classrooms address the specific issues that are inclusive of all gender, especially for girls and those that have special needs, and make an environment, a learning environment that is conducive to both boys and girls and that supports girls' education.
Gender-responsive pedagogy increases the likelihood that all learners, both girls and boys, participate fully and meet success in school. To make that possible, everything that happens in schools must be responsive to their learning needs. It involves adapting familiar methodologies to meet the different learning needs and strengths of both girls and boys. It creates a learning environment which enables all learners to achieve the objectives of the curriculum to the best of their individual ability. Gender-responsive pedagogy is a strategy for identifying and removing barriers to learning that many girls and some boys encounter right inside their classrooms and school. It involves thinking differently about how to teach so that both girls and boys profit. It involves doing much of what good teachers already do, but doing it differently. As you continue, watch for gender-responsive practices that are good examples of what the ministry needs teachers and head teachers to do in order to mainstream gender equality in schools. Listen as teachers share how their training in gender-responsive pedagogy has changed the way they think about teaching girls and boys, and some of the things they now do differently as a result.
My lenses, I've tried to use the gender lens, in that when I go to class, I don't only see the boys who are raising up their hands. I also concentrate on the girl who is there. Why is this girl coming to school late always? Why is this girl not participating in class? Why is this girl always the last one in class?
This teacher mentioned using her gender lenses to think about the class as individual girls and boys as she plans her lessons. She also uses them to see whether the learning materials she uses with the learners are gender balanced or gender biased. Think of a gender lens as a pair of glasses. Out of one lens, you see the participation, needs, and realities of girls or women. Out of the other, you see the participation, needs, and realities of boys and men. What you actually see is the combination of what each eye sees. A gender lens is usually a list of factors to watch for to determine if the material is portraying males and females in a fair, balanced way. Gender lenses help us see the whole picture from the perspective of both women and men, girls and boys. Gender lenses are particularly useful for looking at the materials learners use on a regular basis. Gender-balanced materials can be very positive, reinforcing gender equity for girls and boys. However, gender-biased materials reinforce the biases that often dominate children's experience. These two pictures from a science textbook show gender balance. Do you see how? They show gender equity. Both girls and boys are shown doing the task correctly and incorrectly. What does a girl see when she uses this material? What does a boy see? What do they both learn about themselves, each other, and their world? This picture is gender biased. While the drawings show good examples to illustrate the concept being taught, what do they say about girls and boys? What stereotypes do they reinforce? The language used in the textbooks can also be biased. For example, phrases like, "Mother went to the clinic to see the doctor. He said," suggests that all doctors are men. Math problems, which use examples like, "Mr. Wangara went to the bank to deposit," or "Mrs. Munishi sells bananas for 10 shillings each," show differences in economic power. A sentence like, "On her way to the store, Agatha lost the money her mother gave her to buy milk," suggests that girls are the careless ones. Wearing gender lenses helps teachers notice such examples. They can point them out, discuss them with the learners, asking questions like, "Are all doctors men?" Or, "Are only girls careless? Do boys also lose things sometimes?" What are some of the ways teachers said their thinking about teaching boys and girls has changed? What are some of the things they now do differently? Did you notice thinking about lesson planning differently? For example, the boys and girls will, in the lesson objectives, changing method of delivery, making it gender responsive, trying to use my gender lenses. I don't just see boys, I also see the girls. Questioning. Why is this girl coming late? Why is she not participating? Why is she always last in class? Using mixed seating arrangement. Boys and girls sitting and working together. Ensuring equal access to learning materials. Girls and boys sharing textbooks. What else did you notice? As you can see already, the first important change in gender-responsive pedagogy is learning to think differently about girls and boys and how to make sure both are fully involved in learning.
Our class is immaculately smart. Who swept our class today? Girls. Why? Why do you think girls swept this class? Yes? their duty. Somebody saying that? Any other person? Girls, why do you think you swept this class? Any girl who can try? It's your work. Girls believe it's your work to do that. All right. The way the class has answered, only 3 girls managed the right answers. Then, majority of the boys got it right.
Listen as teachers share how their training in gender-responsive pedagogy has changed the way they think about teaching girls and boys, and some of the things they now do differently as a result.
Previously, I used to like to shout, to girls, and girls need to be talked to in a soft voice, such alike. So, never knowing that I was threatening the girls. Maybe you think you are driving a point at home, but maybe you are teaching yourself, or you are threatening, you are causing more harm than good to a girl. So I've been shaped in a way that I'm now positive about that.
Our language to the girls was a bit demoralizing because we saw that they were not performing. We could not even accept them in our classes because they will pull down our mean scores. Sometimes we could even abuse them. Or when we group, we put them in the last groups whereby we don't even bother. But since GRP came in, we've learned how to talk to them, how to motivate them, how to appreciate them for however little they do.
After the GRP training, that's when, as a teacher, at first I could not even realize that I was being gender biased to the learners. That's after the GRP training, that's when I knew as a teacher I should wear the gender lens. As a teacher myself, I started teaching mathematics. That's when even those girls who were shy, who could not participate, they came out. I gave them chances. I gave them chances to participate, to tell me where the problem is. And you could find nowadays that girls are participating. They are participating equally as boys in class.
GRP has made a difference to me as a teacher because initially, before the coming of GRP, there was a problem in teaching methods. Another thing that I came to learn, these pupils learn differently. That's what I came to learn. Unlike the issue of you separate them and you expect an answer from a single parent, a single pupil. Second, I came to learn, unlike boys, girls need some more wait time in answering a question. That's when you ask a question, you don't expect an answer spontaneously like boys. So you have to extend that wait time for them. So I give them an extension of wait time for around 5 to 6 seconds, and then she can come up with an answer, and she answers. So that's the difference I realized with GRP and the former teaching methodology.
We have 3 teachers who have been trained in GRP, and as I see, they have been able to include the gender-responsive language in their teaching. They also use the gender-responsive pedagogy in their teaching. They also involve girls in their teaching and learning activities, and they also mentor girls. They boost their confidence in education. They also make sure that they create a very conducive environment for learning for girls in the school.
In this school, the issue of GRP is implemented in so many aspects. In the first place, in the classroom settings, we have monitors and prefects. If a girl is a monitor, the boy becomes a prefect. During the weekly, the teachers on duty program, we have both a male teacher and a female teacher. Coming to class teachers, like in this school, we have 2 streams. Every class has 2 streams. So one class, for example, 7 North is managed by a female teacher, 7 South is managed by a male teacher, so that the balance can be realized, because children, both girls and boys, are watching this. And by so doing, we shall be in a position to mold these children with what they are seeing on the ground so that they don't question it.
How many gender-based barriers to learning did you notice? What did you see that might make girls feel less important or less able to succeed? Did you notice I used to shout, but I learned girls need a quieter voice. A very loud voice could make them fear. Girls often associate a loud voice with anger. I didn't realize I was gender biased. I learned that girls learn differently. Using demoralizing language, I saw the poor performance of girls as a negative impact on the class scores, grouping girls at the back and ignoring them. Pointing out how boys are superior, only 3 girls answered, but the majority of the boys did so. Boys seated at the front, even though they're taller, and block the girls who are all at the back of the class. What actions to remove barriers were suggested or shown? Girls may need more time to answer questions. They may need more wait time. Female math teacher as a role model. Involve girls in the learning activities. Use of gender-responsive language. I learned how to talk to girls, how to motivate them, to appreciate them for whatever little they do. Mentoring girls to boost their confidence. Many teachers said that often just talking to the girls boosted their confidence and increased their participation. Sharing leadership roles with boys to boost confidence. Balance assignment of male and female teachers so boys and girls have positive role models. We often forget to consult with the most important people of all, the girls and boys we teach. Here, MELAP explores what girls and boys believe about learning. They offer some very interesting observations.
Between the boys and the girls, who does well in your class? Yes, John?
Boys.
Boys do better than girls?
Yes.
Why do you think that boys do better than girls in your class? The girls, why is it that boys do better than you?
Because in class, girls, they like a lot of jokes, but boys, they really concentrate in class.
She's saying that girls are fun makers. Is that true?
Yes.
You don't really concentrate on education? Any other reason? Yes? Yes?
Shyness.
Pardon?
Girls feel shyness.
Girls feel shy
Shy.
in participating, or how? How do they feel?
Participating in class, asking questions, answering.
They are shy.
Yeah.
What about the boys?
Boys do not feel shy.
Okay, that is one challenge. Another one? Yes?
Some girls do not like mathematics.
Some girls do not like mathematics. Is that true?
Yes.
Why do you think some girls don't like mathematics? What makes them fear maths? Yes?
Because mathematics is hard to them to know.
Hard. And the teacher is there guiding. Okay, mathematics is hard. Let us hear from him.
Because they don't have much interest about the such mathematics subject.
Maybe that might be the point, isn't it? You lack interest. Which teacher takes you maths? Is it a male teacher or a female teacher? A male teacher. Supposing we bring there a female teacher for maths, will girls pick up or still they'll be shy? Like for you, for your case, do you like maths or you hate it?
I don't like math.
You don't like maths. Why do you think you don't like math?
Because the teacher who is teaching us is a male, and if it is a woman, we could have a role model.
Role model. Good. And then in your class, if girls fear maths, what do you think they do best in? Which subject do they replace with maths? Yes?
English.
English. Does it mean they shine out in English than the boys?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Why is it that they are shy in maths and not in English? My friend, why do you think girls shine in English?
I'm not sure. Maths has a lot of formula, but English doesn't have formula.
Just sentences and you walk away.
Yes.
Is that the reason? Yes. Any other good reason why girls like English than math. Yes, Sharon?
In mathematics, we have a lot of words that girls cannot analyze them. But in English, it is easy to understand the question.
So do we say math has heavy terminologies than English?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for attending the session and participating fully. And what I would like to tell you, I would like to encourage you that both boys and girls have a right to education. You all have the same mind that can perform in both subjects, those sciences and languages. A girl can do well in maths and a boy can do well in languages. You should not fear to present your issues because you feel shy or you feel inferior, you don't trust your answers. You should participate fully in class and just do the way your teachers instruct you, and then you will succeed. I wish you all the best in your coming exam.
What gender stereotypes about learning did the girls mention? How about the boys? How do you think the beliefs these girls and boys hold affect their learning? Did you notice? Girls said, girls are shy, boys aren't. Girls don't like math. Girls make a lot of jokes, but boys really concentrate. A female math teacher would be a role model for them. Girls feel shy in class to participate or ask and answer questions. Math has a lot of words that girls cannot analyze. In English, it is easy to understand the question. Math has a lot of numbers. English doesn't. Boys said, boys do better than girls in class. Math is hard for them. They don't have much interest in math. Both said, girls are better in English. Most agreed with each of the comments made. What do you think girls and boys in your classes might say? A critical part of gender-responsive pedagogy is thinking ahead about how both girls and boys will benefit fully from the lesson.
GRP has assisted me a lot, whereby I can plan my lesson catering for gender. For example, when you are writing objective, you should say by the end of the lesson, boys and girls should be able to answer this. You don't only mention just learners. Can you just show boys and girls are able to name maybe parts of a flower in science? All of them, you include all of them in the lesson.
My lesson planning, my method of delivery.
These teachers both mentioned preparing gender-responsive lesson plans as part of what they now do as gender-responsive teachers. Thinking ahead about how you will involve both girls and boys in the lesson will make it much easier for you to do so as you are teaching. The Ministry of Education's lesson planning format identifies steps to follow to make sure you present the lesson in the best possible way. Making it gender-responsive simply means adding notes to remind yourself to think about the learners as girls and boys with different learning strengths and needs. Short of a sample lesson plan, Section 1. Administrative information. A very important factor to consider is who is registered and who is actually present in the class for the lesson today.
When you talk about the role, that means the actual number of learners as per the attendance register. When it comes to the role, the GRP aspect has it that we also get the number of learners who are actually present in class.
When planning a gender-responsive lesson plan, it is helpful to identify the specific gender-based barriers that the lesson will take into account. This is an addition to the ministry format. Here, the teacher is planning learning activities that will help shy girls participate more, as well as planning to distribute learning materials equitably so both girls and boys have access to them. The topics and subtopics for the lesson come straight from the syllabus, as do the learning objectives. However, it is important to keep in mind that while the objectives of the curriculum are for all the learners, girls and boys, how they learn may be different.
I can plan my lesson catering for gender. For example, when you are writing objective, you should say by the end of the lesson, boys and girls should be able to answer this.
My lenses, I've tried to use the gender lens in that when I go to class, I don't only see the boys who are raising up their hands. I also concentrate on the girl who is there. Why is this girl coming to school late always? Why is this girl not participating in class? Why is this girl always the last one in class?
When selecting the teaching and learning resources to use, the teacher needs to think about whether the learners will encounter any gender bias, and if so, what to do about it. While not specifically part of the lesson plan, it is important for the teacher to use gender lenses to review materials that will be used, and if necessary, plan how to address any bias with the class. It is also important to think about how to assess both girls' and boys' learning of the concepts or skills that were taught. This teacher will ask questions from the passage and has already noted elsewhere in the lesson plan that enough wait time will be provided for shy girls to encourage them to answer. The lesson development section is where you identify what you and the learners will actually do. In each of the 3 components of this section, there is a place to note how you plan to involve girls and boys at each stage. Let's look at what this teacher is planning. The planned teaching activities include asking boys and girls about animals they already know. A special note is made to ask shy girls to respond. The learning activities state that both boys and girls will answer. The presentation is the main part of the lesson. Here, the teacher describes the gender-responsive strategies to be used to make sure both the girls and the boys benefit. Grouping boys and girls, ensuring gender balance. Distributing learning materials equitably so all get to use them. Asking boys and girls to name animals. Encouraging shy girls to answer. If a girl answers incorrectly, asking another girl, not a boy, to answer. This avoids reinforcing the stereotype that boys are smarter than girls. When it's time to use textbooks, making sure that both boys and girls have equal access to them. When choosing a reader from each group, ensuring that shy girls get a chance to read. Here, the lesson plan reminds the teacher to give shy girls enough wait time to be able to answer questions, which will help the teacher know how successful the lesson was. The final 3 sections of the plan are of course completed at the conclusion of the lesson, as the teacher notes the results of the evaluation of the learning and thinks about the lesson as a whole. Here, it is important to pay attention to whether there were any changes to the gender barriers identified. Did the shy girls the teacher is particularly concerned about participate a little more? Did materials get distributed equitably so everyone had a chance to use them? Finally, of course, the teacher will reflect on the whole lesson. Were the objectives reached by all the learners? If not, what could I have done differently? What changes should I make in the next class? What else can I do to encourage the shy girls more? Because this teacher has carefully planned how the lesson will unfold and thought about how gender issues will be addressed, all the learners, girls and boys, will benefit. This is what good quality education is all about. Do you see how this lesson plan incorporated several gender-responsive teaching practices? Noting how many girls and boys are present, identifying gender barriers to think about during the lesson, thinking about boys and girls while writing the learning objectives, using gender lenses to make sure teaching and learning resources don't reinforce gender biases or stereotypes, and what to do if they are biased. Thinking about how to assess learning for both boys and girls. Using group learning and making sure girls are included equally. Assigning group responsibilities equitably so both girls and boys are involved. Asking questions to both boys and girls and providing enough wait time to encourage shy girls to participate. Asking another girl, not a boy, to help when a girl has answered incorrectly, ensuring that both girls and boys have access to learning materials, monitoring movement in the class so girls are not harassed by boys. Grouping is a very powerful gender-responsive methodology for enabling learners, especially girls, to participate and interact with other girls and boys in a less threatening environment. It also provides an opportunity for girls and boys with special needs to be more included in learning activities in the class. This benefits both the child with special needs and the other learners with whom he or she interacts.
I want us now to go into your groups so that we discuss the signs and symptoms of typhoid and the prevention measures of typhoid. Group 1, you will come here. Move to your group, please. Group 1. In my class, I have a special need girl. We don't segregate them. We involve them even in our daily decision making. They are even involved in the groups. They can be given responsibilities like others. They can play, and we normally talk to other girls that they should incorporate them in everything they are doing. They should be part of them. So they are just there and they feel that they are part of the others. Okay. Now we want to call the group leader of group 3 to come and present to us their findings. Deborah.
On the second part of group 3, we discuss about signs and symptoms of typhoid. One is skin rashes.
GRP herself, because in GRP, the teacher is supposed to take care of the needs of all learners. For example, now those who are physically handicapped, these ones are given their items of play. They are given time to express their views. They can be given responsibility in class. So it has boosted the confidence of these girls. Now that they are handicapped, they don't dwell on that. They now work with the others. They even work in groups. Now they feel they are capable like the others.
One of the things that my administration implemented is those who are trained as GRP teachers, they have to use the new approach of teaching. Because in a GRP, there are skills that you learn. I'm also a GRP trained teacher. So the skills we acquired, I emphasize the teachers have to implement in the classes or even outside the classes. Because the curriculum is both the academics and the co-curriculum activity. And we have to involve all children, both boys and girls. Then the other thing I have also emphasized that it must be implemented is the purchase of enough instructional materials. When we look at the school instructional materials, we have to buy enough so that we can have one boy and a girl sharing one textbook. That means a ratio of one textbook per 2 students. That means now both boys and girls are involved.
Already we have quite a number of changes in place. For instance, in the student leadership structure, we have the deputy president, Her Excellency, being a girl, and she's powerful in terms of handling our office and seeing that order is observed in the girls' dormitory and in all aspects. So we have seen girls taking up leadership from classroom level up to the school level.
I have observed good relationship between the teachers and the pupils, because in the past, the pupils could fear teachers. They could fear even asking questions or taking part in the class activities. But nowadays, there is that good rapport between teachers and pupils. Girls can take part in the class activities. They can do experiments. They can now take part in many activities that they used to shy off before. And also, in the school, I can see girls are now happy. They are interested in the school activities. They even want to stay in school more. Not like in the past, they could sneak out of school. They just want to be outside. Now there is a high retention of girls in school.
What gender-responsive actions did these head teachers mention? What results have they seen in their schools? Did you notice? Insist that the teacher who has had the training implements GRP in their classes and out-of-school activities with girls and boys. Head teachers, also GRP trained, know how to support teachers to use the skills inside and outside the classroom. Purchase of enough instructional material so all learners, girls and boys, have access to what they need. Promote involvement of girls in school leadership structure. Encourage teachers to develop good relationships with girls so the girls no longer fear their teachers. Girls take part in class activities, do experiments. Participate in many out-of-school activities they used to shy away from. You can see the girls are now happy. Girls want to stay in school. Helping parents understand the importance of educating both their girls and boys is a very important role for teachers and head teachers. Furthermore, once parents understand this, they can learn what they can do at home to support the children's learning.
Mimi niko na watoto wanne, na kati ya watoto wanne hawa msichana ndio mkubwa, alimalizia kwa hii shule ya sekondari hapo Mogila Girls Form 1. Kijana nje yako sahi class 8, na kuna wale wadogo mwenye ako 4 na yule mwenye ako 3. Sasa huyo msichana anasomea hapa. Naambia mtoto msichana pia wao soma, kijana soma. Hao wanakaa kwa hiyo nyumba yao ya wasichana, kijana anakaa hiyo yake ya kijana. Naambia wasoma, namwachia fursa ya kusoma. Hakuna tena niweze kusema nifanyishe kazi nzito sana ili asisome. Dakika 5 nenda, ama kijana enda unichotea maji, unisukumie jerikani 2, haya enda soma, msichana soma. Hakuna kazi nzito ambayo ninafanyisha.
Hiyo subject ya maths ndio ilibidi alinipea moral. Na when I come to the teacher, they say as in writing her composition, she's good in composition, by the way. English, not Kiswahili as such, but kwa English composition. So inabidi nakam kwa teacher, ninamwambia kuhusu hii inaitwa the language as a not composition, this other subject, this part of English. So namwambia atilie mkazo.
How many ways did these mothers mention they support learning for their daughters and sons? Did you notice? Making time for schoolwork, reading, easing the burden of household tasks, talking to the teacher about how the child is doing. What else do you think parents can do to help their sons and daughters succeed at school? The teachers and head teachers you've just met, and over 75 others who contributed ideas to this video, all say that gender-responsive pedagogy has made a positive impact in their classes and schools.
On the side of teachers, there has been a change of attitude from the side of teachers. Teachers have now come to believe or accept that girls can equally do well with boys in their classes. On interaction, initially, boys used not to interact closely with girls, mingle up with girls. One of the things in GRP is you need to make sure that the resources that are available in class are shared equally among us both sexes. And at the same time, when you are presenting the lesson, make sure that you involve them. So we have seen change of attitude from teachers. We have seen high participation from girls. We have seen a lot of confidence from also both girls and boys. Performances of girls has gone up. We have seen absenteeism also has gone down because girls feel they are now, they are being appreciated. And so absenteeism has gone down amongst the girls. And also dropout rates have changed in some schools. This is a very innovative program. The teachers that have undergone this training have a lot to say, and if it can be scaled up, we will see a lot of significance, a lot of changes in our schools.
One thing I've learned that girls are no longer shy because they come to parade, they lead in prayers. Another one, they lead in scouts in a crowd of many children. And knowing there in the past, girls used to be very shy And GRP, the interaction of GRP has enabled them to understand that what the boy can do, even her as a girl, she can do it.
It has influenced the school in a great way. That is, we have seen it in the performance. Girls, both boys and girls are doing it well in academics, in their classes, and there is also confidence among themselves in discussions, especially in forums like debates. Girls are coming out very clearly, they are no longer shying off. We are also seeing in these other clubs, girls are taking the lead in leadership. So it's really building that confidence in both gender.
In the past, the girls were shy. They had a negative attitude towards subjects like science and maths. But since they have used this GRP in their learning, now girls have a positive attitude towards learning of maths and science. And it has also led in the increment of achievements in maths and science. Now you can see girls are interested in these subjects, and they have done better. We have better scores than before. Okay, also girls are now interested in school. They can now stay in school. We have minimal cases of truancy nowadays in school, and we have higher enrollments also in schools. Our girls now they like school. They normally come every day. They also enjoy their lessons, and they enjoy the school environment at large.
Kumekuwa na mabadiliko. Zamani watoto wangu walikuwa wanajua maneno ya sayansi, Kiswahili na English. Maneno ya math hawakuwa wanajua. Lakini sasa hivi wamejua. Najaribu kuambia mjaribu mbinu yote ya kujifunza, usiogope kusoma ya hesabu ati uji. Lakini sasa hivi kumekuwa na mabadiliko.
The GRP has really made a difference, because I can say this is the third time that I'm being a class teacher in class 8. And the first time when I got employed here, the performance of girls was not pleasing, because we had like girls scoring less than 100 marks in KCPE, 100 marks. And last year, but one, we had a girl who, we can say that the first time that she was, for the years that she has been in school, there is no any single day that she ever scored 200 marks. But because of the GRP course that I attended and talking to them, that year, that girl was able to get 280 marks.
In a gender-responsive school, the gender-related needs of girls and boys are taken into account in all aspects of planning, implementation, and evaluation. A gender-responsive school is a place where the practice of gender-responsive pedagogy creates a learning environment which enables all learners, girls and boys, to participate fully and achieve to the best of their individual ability. Gender-responsive pedagogy is a critical component of good quality education, which is the right of every girl and boy. What changes do you think you can make in your own class to improve participation and achievement, especially of girls?
Issues of the gender-responsive pedagogies are key, because whereas we think the factors that bar access to education are external, in most cases, most of them are internal and are found within the classroom. So if we have pedagogical approaches that exclude the girl child, for example, then there is a high possibility that the girl child will not access education. So we try through in-service education and in-service training to bring it to the realization of the teachers on gender-responsive pedagogies that then will make the classroom environment inclusive for all, including boys and girls, to enable the girls feel welcome to the classroom and to be able to participate in the learning environment, as well as improve the learning opportunities for the boy child. In total, if we have gender-responsive pedagogies, then both boys and girls excel, and the learning outcomes in the classrooms are much more better.